You're looking at Eco, which is the first game in the Eco and Shadow of the Colossus collection for the PlayStation 3. When you're choosing PlayStation games, 2 for the price of 1 is very appealing, and thankfully both games are pretty good. Playing Eco will likely take you back to times when games such as Prince of Persia and Tomb Raider were really popular. If you like platform games, then you'll find plenty to enjoy here, as you'll discover your character is quite the acrobat. Eco is a young boy who happened to be born with a set of horns, and this leads to his current dilemma. The fellow villagers of Eco aren't an understanding bunch, so they decide he should be imprisoned as they believe his horns are a bad omen. After escaping your initial confines, you come across a girl named Yorda, who serves as a companion for most of the game. Eco leads Yorda by the hand like a boy with his big sister, as he needs her special abilities in order to progress. Yorda has the ability to unlock numerous magical doorways you'll find throughout the castle, so you need to keep her close at hand. You'll encounter numerous chains, ladders, boxes and other obstacles, most of which can be dealt with by Eco. Yorda, on the other hand, doesn't display the same acrobatic skill as Eco, so although she'll climb ladders, things like chains or shimmying along platforms are a no-no. Since Yorda can't get around so easily, you'll often have to venture ahead to make a path to allow your companion to follow. The game forces you to think, as finding a means to allow Yorda to follow Eco throughout the levels isn't always straightforward. You're going to get stuck at times trying to proceed through the levels, but this won't be due to flaws in the game's design. Modern games tend to give you hints if you seem to be stuck, but with Eco, you're not going to be mollycoddled. It's not all about platforms, as you'll encounter numerous shadow demons that are eager to abduct Yorda. When shadow demons appear, they're usually accompanied by a vortex, and if you don't stay sharp, they'll pull Yorda inside. The shadow demons are another reason you need to keep Yorda close at hand, since leaving her behind triggers their appearance. If Yorda is pulled inside a vortex, you'll have a few seconds to prevent the game from ending by pulling her out. Fending off your enemies isn't complicated, as most of the time you'll do this by swinging a melee weapon. You'll start off with a stick, but later on you'll find weapons such as swords and maces allowing you to dole out extra damage. Yorda's mother is the one and only boss, who puts in numerous appearances throughout the game. Yorda's mother goes out of her way to prevent you from escaping the castle, and you'll have to wait until the very end before you have a final confrontation with her. The HD enhancements in Eco aren't likely to strike you with awe due to their brilliance, but the visuals serve their purpose. The camera in Eco can be a bit of an issue, and at times you'll have to make allowances because of the way it shifts. While moving Eco forward, the camera may shift angle, and to continue in the same direction you'll sometimes have to adjust the analog stick. Sound in the game is mostly made up of ambient noise, but you do hear music during times when you encounter enemies. Eco may take you around 10 hours to complete, or less if you're good at platform games and solving puzzles. If you play Eco first, you'll be saving the best until last, and you can look forward to taking on another great game on the same disc. Shadow of the Colossus is probably the most epic game of the two titles, as here you take on massive giants. Your character is called Wanda, and he's entered a forbidden land in the hope of reviving Mono, who starts the game in a comatose state. In an effort to revive Mono, your character makes a deal with the devil, in the form of an entity known as Dormin. You'll have your work cut out for you, as in return for the revival of Mono, Dormin wants you to defeat the 16 colossi of the land. Before taking on the colossi or giants, you'll have to find them first, and this job is made a lot easier due to Agro. Agro is your horse, and thankfully he can't be harmed by the giants, as whenever he's able, he'll rush to your aid if he hears your call. There are some platform sections in the game's overworld which are fine, but other elements are frustrating. Searching for giants involves holding up your sword while standing in the light, and this vibrates the controller if you're pointing in the right direction. What the sword doesn't tell you is whether a mountain or a valley stands between you and your destination. The method that's used to find the colossi will often cause you to take a wrong turn, so you may end up searching longer than you expect. On the plus side, the colossi make your efforts worthwhile, as taking them on is quite the experience. Grip plays a major part in the game, and how much of it you have at your disposal is indicated in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. When you're climbing over giants, they'll often thrash around in retaliation, and this can severely drain your grip. If your grip runs out, you're likely to fall, but in most cases you'll survive and avoid being crushed by your enemy's hoof. Frankly, many of the colossi are dumb and deserve death, since they repeatedly flash their vulnerable sections in your face. You can take cover behind certain objects, and in many cases the colossi let you sit and chill rather than smashing your defense. Despite their vulnerabilities, taking down the colossi you encounter is only easy when you know how. To kill the creatures, you need to attack specific areas of their bodies, or your weapon has little or no effect. The main weapon you have at your disposal is a sword, but you'll also have a bow and arrow which comes in handy. You won't be using your bow to kill giants, but you can use it to draw their attention or to make them take specific actions. When it comes to the graphics, the overworld looks okay, but the colossi are easily the game's main highlight. Sound in the game is good, and the music changes dynamically depending on the situation you're in. Completing Shadow of the Colossus will likely take you 10 hours or more if you spend a long time searching for vulnerabilities. If you think the expression "they all lived happily ever after" is an overused cliche, then you're likely to appreciate the game's ending. There's still more to find out about Eco and Shadow of the Colossus, so be sure to check out theprotagonist.org for the full written review. If you like 2 for the price of 1 and enjoy challenging single player experiences, then you really can't go wrong.